What is happening, everybody? Welcome to Time Out with Michael and Tony.
Hey.
No.
What do you mean no?
No, you can't do that.
Why not?
That's Tony's tagline.
Well, it's Time Out with Michael and Tony. Just wanted to do the hey so everybody knows that. Actually, I think Tony will be jealous.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think I do it just as good.
She does it just as good. I don't know. Well, we'll leave that to the judges and the stream. Hey, if you're watching, thanks for watching. We appreciate you, whether you watch or listen morning, noon, or night. Your support is awesome. Thank you so much. This is Time Out with Michael. I'm Michael. This is our special guest, Carrie. Unfortunately, Tony could not be with us tonight. He was in a tragic llama accident.
Mm-hmm.
And thoughts and prayers go out to him.
Right.
And we can't really give any details at this time as the investigation is pending. All we can say is he's still trying to look for his favorite shirt.
Hey, Josh is on. Hey, Josh.
Josh is on. Sweet. Hi, Josh. How are you? So again, please pray that Tony finds his shirt and that the llamas did not eat it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Okay. It's your story, and I'm just going to roll with it and say, yeah, okay.
No, Tony's got some things going on, so we decided to go on and do this, and hopefully it will work out good. And we missed him, and hopefully we can see him next week.
Tony is a much better co-host, but I'll do my best.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have the beard. Know. You don't have the beard.
And I'm not going to grow one either.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay.
Not sorry.
Fair enough. We don't want to see topless Tony. I know, right? I mean, can you imagine? He's got the beard, so if he took the shirt off, it would be...
I don't know what Kayla would have to say about that.
I think I have an idea.
As long as he doesn't get rid of the beard, I think she'd be okay with that. Maybe.
I think so too. So big shout out to our sponsor, Aspen Cinemas. We couldn't do this show without you. Thank you so much. Head over to their website, aspencinemas.com. Check it out. You can join their Facebook page. You can support them. They are still doing their what is it called? The drive-in. They're still doing their drive-in. And
but they are not doing inside movies right now, I don't think.
They are doing inside movies.
I thought they said see you later for now. I thought I saw that on their Facebook page that you can reserve the theater for like private parties or something, but I think that I thought I saw that, so maybe I shouldn't have said that.
That is true.
I don't think they're going to do showings at this time, but
yeah,
I could be wrong, but I thought that's what I saw on social today.
Yeah, you can book a private party in there, and
they're still doing the drive-in.
They are still doing the drive-in, and it is Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
I don't know that that's ever been one of my favorites.
What?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't like NASCAR.
Gotcha.
So I just had a really hard time following that because of that. But.
They are going to be able to start their new movies that is coming, which is Tenet, July 31st. It is a Christopher Nolan movie, I believe.
Is that the one with Kevin Bacon?
Where you want to go? And we've always wanted to see San Francisco. One of these things is the memories. And let's see, I think we were in Smith's, and somebody asked Riker, and he was what, 4 or 5 at the time? I think he was 4.
Yeah, about that.
Really?
Yeah.
So they had these little twisty cereal dispensers in the hotel, and that was all he cared about. He didn't care about anything else.
That was a highlight for him.
Shit, and something really cool. And when we got there, we're like, oh, let's go watch it. And it's so cool. For those, and for those of that you have, and we're like, wait a minute, whoa, a little gem for us, which I think is why
really cool.
Big Hero 6 kind of we did San Francisco, and then the following year we asked the kids, we're like, where do you want to go? And they said Disneyland. And I was like, oh, sweet. So I started researching it, and Disneyland is expensive, and especially for a family, and you got to do plane tickets and all those things. And so I researched it to the max all year long. And one of my buddies told me about this place, Getaway Today. And if you go to getawaytoday.com, you can find a lot of cool deals. You're able to pay for your stuff. They pretty much beat everybody out there. They will match and or beat anybody's prices out there. So they're really cool. And what was nice about them is they were able to give you instead of paying the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 right away, they gave you a layaway plan. So you only paid like $200 or $300 a month, which in today's world, it's a lot easier to budget for $200 or $300 a month rather than $2,000 or $3,000 right away. I know you can do it, but it made it a lot easier. So
it
anyway,
was super nice.
We did that, and we did not book our flights through there because it was very upfront about it. Like, you can book flights through to the airline. So we did that, and away we went. And the next year we're like, hey, where do you guys want to go? And they're like, Disneyland. And I was like, yes. So this started our whole thing of Disneyland. And this year, I mean, myself and Carrie are going to go to Disneyland in soon, hopefully a month and a week. We're crossing our fingers. That's why we're wearing our Disney stuff, because they are going to open the Disneyland park December 17th, and they have a little reservation system, so you have to reserve a day, and we haven't seen how that's going to go yet. Our friends over at Midlife Vibes, we've been following them and watching them so they can update us faster and quicker, because they're down in California. We also watched Yaya Chronicles and Kidult TV and Best Life and Beyond and Provis Park. I mean, there's a ton
Theme
of
Park Obsessions
with Dylan. Yeah. We watch all of those guys. We watch Midlife Vibes a little bit closer though, because they are our peeps. Absolutely. And anyway, they kind of helped us look at that, and we're so grateful for that. So we're hoping that we can get a reservation and get down there. We have our hotels booked. We have our flights booked. Now we just have to be able to jump on that Disneyland website once they have that, and we can put our passes in there and hopefully reserve the days to go to Disney. I'm so excited. It's been too long. So that's kind of, but this year,
Josh.
That's great. I know Josh loves watching Midlife Vibes too. Crazy. I know, right? Weird. Yeah. That's good. Josh, I'm glad you like watching them, because I do too. I sure do. They're awesome. Check those guys out at Midlife Vibes at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, we did Yellowstone. The crowds were I've been racking my brain trying to think of what are we going to do with the boys this year. I know that they really they would love to go to Disneyland. And we'll see.
But if we can, it's about the memories. So to a family vacation. So the question we want to pose to you is, why do you do a family vacation? Why do you do it? Why would you want to do a family vacation? We'll kind of ponder on that. We'll talk a little bit back and forth while you guys put that in the comments. And for those of you who want to, and I think, again, for us, it's about the memories. It's about going
the memories, and it's about getting out of, to me, I think it's important to get out of our environment and spend time together somewhere else. I think it's good to get away. I think it's good to take a break. I think when we go away, it just gets our mind more focused on spending time with each other than just staying home.
And that's something a little different for us. And think about where you are environmentally, I would say. So for us, every single day, all day long, 365 days a year, we have the great outdoors. We have lakes, we have trees, we have hills, mountains, dirt, sand dunes. I mean, we have the outdoor feel every day.
Right.
And so something that I think why we gravitate towards maybe Disney, or we gravitated to San Francisco, is because we don't see the big city. We don't see the fast pace. We don't see all of that movement. And
it gives the boys a different cultural experience as well.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what we're looking for. Like me and Carrie went to Chicago one time, and
it's amazing.
We really want to take the boys there. I think it would be fun to take the boys to a lot of places, but think about that as you listen to the podcast or you're on the live show, why you do a family vacation, what you really look for towards that, because I think we, again, gravitate towards something that is not, again, in our backyard, because we do get to see that and enjoy that every day. And like Carrie said, we want to get out of our environment and do something a little bit different.
Liked it or not, but
Justin and Kindy start with
city, but then it's also
because we're getting
exactly.
Point Carrie has her strong points during our vacation stuff, which I let her take care of and handle. If you haven't worked as a team, try it. That you're not helping. The other person steps up and takes care of that, because
you seem to really enjoy it. So, and it always just seems to kind of work out. I mean,
yeah, Becky hit it right here. Josh does all the planning, but we discuss it. The Del Sol, horrible. So we went to a different one, then it was really good. So Best Western was good. So did the Best Western had bunk. Why do you do a family vacation? Again,
you fly or do you drive?
Or do you drive when you go to your vacation? What's your forte? I mean, for me, I can drive everywhere. My grandparents drove me all over the country when I was younger. I have visited every single state in the United States, save Alaska and Hawaii, because you can't drive to those. I guess you could drive to Alaska, but we just never did that. And my grandparents took me to every state. I've stopped and went to the bathroom and at least in one or done something. My grandma would gamble and I would sit by the swimming pool. So I can do that.
I've been to most of the Western United States and just been through a few heading to the southeastern part of the United States, but
right.
There's still a lot I need to see.
So, driving can be good if you have a little bit of time. Me, I'm that guy that wants to get in the car and make it all the way there in one trip.
And I'm the girl that wants to go get on an airplane and get there and be there.
Short and sweet.
I am not the road trip kind of girl. I mean, I'll do it. But it's not something that's my favorite. Again, it's so bizarre because we can go to Disneyland and I can pretty much ride every ride all day long and I get tired, but I'm fine. I don't really get motion sickness, save a couple that I just avoid.
Thanks, Veronica. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.
But to be in the car for hours at a time, it just exhausts me and wears me out, makes me sick. And so I would rather just go get on a plane and be there.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
And I would like to too. Sometimes you're not able to do that. The money situation is a little bit hard to be able to afford that. I mean, we're not saying gas and hotels are expensive too. So it is sometimes equivalates out to be about the same price that you're paying as you look at that, because then, of course you're driving, paying for gas, you're paying for all those snacks, because, when you drive, you got to stop at every gas station and go to the bathroom and have snacks. And it's just never ending.
I don't have to have snacks at every stop.
Yeah.
It's the kids that,
whatever.
It's Riker that has to have snacks.
Yeah. Riker has to have a freaking cupboard full and a week's worth of food for 2 hours. He's very nervous about that sometimes, it's just funny. It's great.
He's the snack kid.
I think if you have the time to be able to drive, which we were able to on our last Disneyland trip, we were able to have a little bit of time to drive. I would have liked maybe 1 or 2 more days to drive. It would have been a little bit nicer. And we probably could have pulled that off. But we wanted to spend more time in Disneyland.
Did you see Becky's comment? She says, when driving.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So she says, when driving, Josh is like Mike. I like to stop spontaneous and discover things.
I love that too. I do like that a lot.
Yep. So there you go. See, more and more we learn pretty close and like Becky and Josh. That's why we gravitate to you guys. See?
That's right.
Dun, dun, dun. So what do you do? Do you fly? Do you drive? Think about that. and next time you're going to drive, really map out your time, look at all the gas stations in between, price out the cost that it costs to fill up your gas tank, and then add your hotel in there, because a lot of times you can't make it to your destination without staying at a hotel. And then the next time you come back, you also have to stay at a hotel or maybe two. See if the price is better just flying, or if it's the same.
Well,
and if it's the same as flying or close to it, get on the plane.
And I think also
fly.
It depends on who you're traveling with. So if Michael is traveling by himself, he really doesn't care where he stays. If he's traveling with his wife,
I'll stay in the car.
He cares about where you stay.
So we can't stay at Motel 6 with the roaches. We have to stay at Paris Hilton's Trump Hotel with robes. Just kidding. She's not that bad. But
hey.
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to talk about on that one. Hotel wise. So then, leading into that, like, do you have to have the best hotel? Do you have to have the greatest hotel? And here's what we think about this.
I do.
And it's going to revert back to Disneyland again. We're at Disneyland to be at Disneyland. We're not there to stay in a hotel. So they have their nice luxurious hotels in the Grand Californian, Paradise Pier, and the Disneyland Hotel. And they are nice. They're
beautiful.
They're amazing. They're so nice to stay in. We've walked through them. I've stayed in them before. I've stayed in the Grand Californian. I've stayed in Paradise Pier. I have not stayed in the Disneyland Hotel though. But I've stayed in those other two, and they're really nice. They're great. And there's a few more perks to staying in those hotels, to the parks as well. But to pay that amount of money for a hotel rather than spending on some other things, it's for us, it wasn't worth it. Now, we don't just go, like, we stayed at the one Hotel Menage, and I'm not sure what it's called now.
I don't remember,
but it was horrible, and it was the worst hotel I've ever stayed at. Besides the veranda,
great, but no, that Hojo we stayed at wasn't great either.
Yeah, the Hojo wasn't as amazing as they made it sound and look. So I wasn't impressed with that. But I mean, do you look for a comfy bed? We like to stay at Hamptons. And the reason Hamptons we like to stay is because, one, we get some points. They have really comfortable beds. We have a really nice Sleep Number bed. And I can tell you right now, it's very hard to beat that bed anywhere.
That's right.
Even the Del Sol beds are not great. And it's so nice to get back home to our bed on the Sleep Number. But if we could pick a hotel that was close enough to match the Sleep Number, it's got to be the Hampton. The
Hilton one was nice.
The Hilton one was nice.
And then the Best Western that we stayed at, that one wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, so. I'm pretty and yes, Becky, that is one thing. Always look at the reviews and the pictures. The one thing that I think that some people miss on the reviews is that they through 10, 11, 12. If there's 324 reviews, read all 324 reviews, because there's always something in there.
You have the time for that.
But you really can. You can. A lot of them don't make this big review. They give you a small review, and they kind of give you some blips. And when you're going through those and you scroll through those, even though there's a 4, sometimes those 4s say something within that review that's like, oh, well, glad I read that one. Yeah. And it's nice to know those things. So read your reviews, especially if you're unsure of something. That's one thing that you want to pay attention to and look at. So yeah, do you fly? Do you drive? And what hotel do you pick? We try not to go cheap, but we don't go luxurious penthouse.
We just like to go middle of the road. That way we know we're getting a clean, nice room, and or we hope anyway.
Yeah. So how long do you think somebody should plan a vacation for? Should they just wing it and go next month, or should they plan out a year, 6 months?
I think it kind of depends on how big your trip's going to be. I think if you're planning, like if you're, for example, we'll just throw this out here. If we were going to go to Italy and see Sophia and her family, then we would need to plan that out for several months. I think it would just take that long to plan it.
Yeah.
But, we've kind of got the Disneyland thing down.
I like it, Josh. I go cheap with good reviews too.
I still don't. Anyway, I just think it kind of depends on where you're going, and it just depends on time, finances. Like if if we're going to go to Disneyland, with the family, we plan that trip out about at least 6 to 8 months so that we can have everything paid for and ready to go. And, but then there are times that we've been spontaneous and we just say, okay, well, we're going to head out.
Michael's spontaneous and says, we're going. And she's like, what? Wait, what? Where? And then she's nervous. She's like, wait a minute. No. Are you sure? And then we get there and she's like, man, I'm so glad you did this.
True enough.
Okay.
True enough. Because I had to be a homebody, and
I wouldn't say homebody. I think she looks at all of the factors that I don't look at, I'm getting a little bit better. I hope so. But I think you need to, depending on where you go. If it was something like Italy for us, we would definitely need to plan that out a year. And we have been looking at that. I secretly have been looking at a lot of those things. I look at plane tickets. I look at hotels. I look at a lot of people's reviews on vlogs and blogs about how much it costs and what you should do, what you shouldn't do. We have a family there that will help us out. Actually, a couple families. We have Irene and we have Sophia's, the Natales, and man, I can't remember Irene's.
It's okay. We have
last name, but we do have some people out there that will definitely help us out if we ever make it out there, which we're going to.
One day when we get to travel without kids, I think that we'll go a lot of places.
Yeah, we'll be a little bit more spontaneous.
Like Disneyland in Hong Kong and Disneyland
that is a dream.
In France and Disneyland in
Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, all of them. Yes, we want to go.
Yeah.
So do you think it's wise to carry this? And we're in a different world now. Do you think it's wise to carry cash? Do you think it?
No, because everybody's going to a cashless society.
I know, because it's dirty and it's always been dirty.
Really? That's shocking.
Credit card wise, if you have a credit card that you're able to get Sky Miles or points, do it. Find one, because I don't know how many times we've been on vacation and been able to just.
Well, it's smart to use your card and then pay off.
Yeah.
Don't live above your means and don't max out your cards if you don't have the money, but use it and then pay it. Use it and then pay it. So that's a smart thing to do.
And we found credit cards that had our things that we used. So like, again, Sky Miles, Disney points. We have a Disney card that gives us points so we can use within the park. So we're not spending a ton of money that we have worked so hard to earn and use, but we have some that has been saved up, and it's nice to have that.
Absolutely.
Do you think it's easier to save money and then have that readily available for your vacation, or do you think it's easier to just, oh, we have it, we'll take care of it?
I think it's better to save it, and then that way you have it, because you don't ever know when life is going to throw something at you, like that you need to.
And I think this is where the planning comes in. Who plans it? Look at the reviews, look at where you're going, kind of get an idea of what the vacation is going to cost, whether that be food, drinks, souvenirs, hotels, gas, all of those things. Think about that and what that price is going to be. So you kind of have that little backup piece to have that for souvenirs, for food.
So speaking of souvenirs, we're kind of like big souvenir people ish. I am. I know whenever we go on a little vacation, I always have to get a magnet for our refrigerator. And
now we get a magnet every time we go to Disneyland too. Doesn't matter if we go, we always get a different one.
So it kind of marks the places that we've been, and it's just fun to see and remember. And then with the kids, we don't go crazy. Like every time we go to Disneyland, they have a set amount that they can spend ish. I know that sometimes we kind of have strayed away from that because again, they're extremely spoiled, but and we don't do souvenirs the whole trip. We tell them to watch for things that you like, and then we let them choose something on the last day.
Yeah. And that way we don't have to pack it around. And then, usually if you let them buy the souvenir in the beginning, then they see something else they want and they're like, oh, I want that. And you have to buy that.
But of course, this time when we went, Riker already knew what he wanted.
Yeah, he had saved his money up. He paid for that thing on his own, which was so cool.
He saved for it was almost a year he saved.
Mm-hmm. So our son Riker, when we went to Disneyland this last time for Christmas and New Year's, we went to Star Wars Land to see them, and he was dead set on being a droid. And he did yard work, he did housework, he did extra chores, he did extra homework, he did extra reading assignments all year long to save up, knowing he had to pay $100 for a drone. And he did it. And he paid, huh?
Or drone.
Droid, yeah.
Yeah.
Drone, droid, same thing, not really.
It is kind of only different.
But he was so proud to be able to go up there, and I was proud of him too. We were both proud. We were all proud. He was able to go up to that cashier and say, "Here's $100."
Yeah,
and
that was really awesome.
He paid for it with his own money and out of his own wallet. And he would just the whole time, I need to get my wallet. I have my $100. I have this. I'm gonna go buy a droid. And it was pretty cool. So we kind of do that with our souvenirs. And I just think that's a good practice for us. What do you guys do? What do you do for your souvenirs? Do you do the same thing? Is that maybe we should try that? Hopefully that tip works. I don't know. I just don't like buying one souvenir right away and then you got 4 or 5 days left and then they want another one and then another one.
So I'm always bad because I'm kind of kicking myself too. But this last trip, I had my heart set on finding like a Disneyland hoodie and I really wanted to get a mug. But then here we are, it's the last day and we're going through in downtown Disney, we're going through that big Disney store. And I just get so overwhelmed with how big it is and how much there is and trying to figure out where the boys are and what they're doing and are they okay? And I got so overwhelmed I didn't get anything. And then we were supposed to go back, just you and I, for our little weekend, and then that didn't happen. And then I was bummed that I just didn't pick something.
1 month in a week, if we can pull it off correctly.
So
crossing my fingers, I check every day.
I always have my heart set on getting something, and then I go in and I get overwhelmed, and then I don't get anything except a magnet because I can't choose.
Right?
Yeah. Kind of bad like that.
Packing wise, what do you think? Do we think we pack right? Do you pack right?
You and I overpack extreme.
I just don't know what shirt to wear.
I know.
I don't know what shirt to wear. I don't know what shirt. I know my shorts. I know my underwear, and I know my socks. And shoes are bad for me too. But I think for the most part we pack pretty good.
I think we do all right.
You guys have a problem packing? Do you struggle with packing? You're shaking your head as you're listening to this, whether it be on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts. You're shaking your head right now going, yep, I am a terrible packer and I need to work on my packing. So what we have figured out doing this Disneyland trip for the last 5-6 years is that we make a list and we put it on our phone. And as we start getting ready to go, we have our list that has everything that we possibly need. And we add to this list all year long until we get to our vacation, and we make sure that we go through that list. And it's really helped us out. So if you have trouble packing, make a list, put it on your phone, add to it. And when you get to that day to pack but before, start checking that list off.
We have our Disneyland list pretty fine-tuned, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Becky says that she always takes too many shoes, and I just say
too many shoed. She must be in the sangria again.
And I just say,
are you in the sangria?
Is there such a thing as taking too many shoes? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And then I love her idea about the ornaments. That is a really good idea. So maybe since our fridge is getting full of magnets, maybe I need to start looking for ornaments.
Well, we talked about coffee mugs too. There's just too many things that we can pick out there.
Yeah.
She's cooking with sangria. You're cooking with sangria? Perfect. Josh is going to have a great meal. But he's not going to, well, she's drinking it with the liquor and she's cooking with it in the cooking, but cooking the alcohol off. So, Josh, you better get in there and get some before it's gone. Okay? Anyway, that's our vacation. We wanted to talk about this just because, simply because everybody's kind of been cooped up. We need a vacation. It's coming up. We need a vacation. We've been cooped up. We've kind of been.
And honestly, I was hoping to maybe get some feedback, so we could figure out
some other places to go. So some places that we really want to go that we've talked about is the Great Wolf Lodge. We've talked about going to Tennessee Dollywood. We've talked about going to Florida to the beach. We've talked about going to New York. We've talked about going back to Chicago. We've talked about going to Ohio to Cedar Point.
So then we've talked about too, there's that I can't think of what it's called in San Diego, that little resort, and they have like they have
Baja.
Well, there's another one, and then my friend Angel told me about a place too. It's like the Bahia, but it
Bahia is this luxurious resort and it's for couples only. You know,
no, it's not.
You're wrong.
For families.
That is for families.
No.
I take your couples. Don't take your kids to this place.
It's called Paradise Point is the one she told me about. She said it's a little bit more kid friendly.
Yeah.
And I think that San Diego is absolutely beautiful and they have beautiful beaches and they do have a little amusement park down there. I don't know that it's open yet, but
some other places that you could take your people to and go around. There's some history things. Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. You can go see the library where JFK was shot. All of that stuff. That's fun history stuff. I like that. That was cool. You can go down to the Alamo, which is in
San Antonio. You have family in Houston.
We do have some family in Texas.
I don't know.
I'm not going to Texas.
I don't know if there's anything there except seeing family. I don't know what's in Houston besides family.
Cockroaches.
No, I don't want to see those. And I don't
actually that's up top of Texas. Let's see, where else could you go? You could, the hard thing right now, especially with C-19, is that it's limited as to what you can do. So like the boys want to go down to Salt Lake and go to Dave and Buster's, and they want to go to Fat Cats, and they want to go to Boondocks, and they want to do all these things.
And the big thing that they're wanting to do right now is go to Lagoon. That, for those of you that don't know, that's an amusement park that's close to us. That is so much fun. I really think that our good friends Josh and Becky would love it since they love roller coasters.
The Cannibal.
I think that they would love that. I think.
But again, that's the hard thing for them is that they have to wear a face mask the whole time, and it's hot and it's muggy. To be able to have that face mask on that whole time.
Well,
I don't know. We'll see.
I think that we'll eventually end up taking them there. So eventually.
Yeah.
But
so that's why I guess that's one thing that you have to think about right now with what's going on in the world in the United States is C-19. You can't necessarily go to Mexico. I mean, I guess you can. You can't really go to Europe. You can't really go on cruises.
I don't think that anybody from the United States can fly into Europe right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's hard to plan those bigger, longer vacations out of the country, doing those things like that. So you kind of have to think outside the box, Yellowstone. That's one of those things. Probably Mount Rushmore, Deadwood, Yosemite. I mean, there's a lot of things out there that you can go do as a family and do a family vacation. So it makes you really have to stop and think about it at this time now, because you can't go.
Definitely have to be more creative.
Yeah, you have to do those things.
I think that we could just go camp in Josh and Becky's backyard. They set up a tent and.
Can we? We don't mind the traffic.
They built a fire. We could make some s'mores.
Do we have to bring our own tent?
I don't know. So, and
you could go to Wyoming. Yeah, you come to Wyoming. There's lots of stuff here.
We would love to show you Wyoming.
Boats.
What?
Moose.
We do have those, but
cows.
If Josh and Becky are hanging out with
deer,
me, I'm pretty much guaranteeing you won't see a moose because
bears.
That is the one I want to see the most.
Lions.
We have mountain
tigers.
Lions. We don't have tigers. This is not Tiger King, and Carol Baskin lives in Florida.
South America zoology.
That's right.
Did you remember Friday? You need to go to Margarita's bag.
I will.
Thank you, everybody, for...
I have an alert set on my phone.
Good, so do I. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Time Out with Michael and Tony, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. If you don't catch us on the live show, you can listen to us anytime on Hushka.com, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, Podbean. Go to the internet, type in the little address bar, Time Out with Michael and Tony podcast. I'm sure if you have a podcast platform, you can find us. We have subscribed and added to everything that we know out there.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe.
And anytime we're on, it will notify you and you can come watch us. She's getting it. She's figuring it out.
I'm getting there.
You can check us out on Facebook at Time Out with Michael and Tony. Oh, and you can also wear the beard at Spreadshirt.com. We're still out of hats. We're still out of diapers. We're still out of dog bandanas.
That's just crazy.
It is crazy.
Our own dogs don't even have one of those.
I know. I did get a cooking apron, but it's from my other people.
You have a Midlife Vibes one.
I know.
Which is so awesome.
I do. I like it. I love it. I've wore it twice. I've cooked twice. I've wore it twice, and it's my favorite. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, heart, comment, do something. Josh is still winning the picture Facebook.
I know.
So if you see us out there, take a picture with us, put it on our Facebook page. We have a drawing.
A drawing?
Mm-hmm. I can't ever say drawing. However it is. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Carrie, for joining us. Tony, I hope you found your shirt, and I hope the accident with the llama is better.
Thanks for having me here with you.
We'll talk about it later. Okay?
Sorry, I'm not as cool as Tony.
Well, I mean, it's the beard. It's a beard thing.
It is.
Bye, everybody.